Following a disastrous Senior Bowl performance, Jalen Milroe had quite the controversial take regarding his future in the NFL. Stick around. This is Way Offsides. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to your favorite sports show, Way Offsides. That's Way Offsides with 4 A's, not 3, not 5, 4. Before we get started and jump into this crazy thing that Jalen Milroe said today, you guys know what I have to ask you to do. I'm sorry, I know I do it every show, but it's a must. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell so you never miss our new shows. We're bringing After Dark back next week. We have new live shows every Thursday night. We've got some pretty cool guests lined up for tomorrow night in Nick Kelly, Alabama beat writer, and Nacho, Alabama. You're not going to want to miss it. But what you're here to see or talk about is Jalen Milroe, the former quarterback of the Alabama Crimson Tide, who many were still leaning would have a successful offseason leading up to the NFL draft and would be a first-round pick. Well, the story's changed. The media is no longer talking about Jalen Milroe's size and how great he is. They're talking about his Senior Bowl performance, a performance that if you watch like I did, it was tough. It was a tough thing to see. He did not have a great outing. A couple of very errant throws, very familiar or reminiscent of what he did against Oklahoma and Tennessee last season against Michigan in the bowl game. Jalen Milroe was asked today if he is a starting quarterback, basically, or if he would consider playing in the NFL at another position. Very similar to what the story was with Tim Tebow back when he drafted. Jalen Milroe's response made it clear that he will play quarterback or he's not going to play at all in the NFL. He said something along the lines, I don't have the quote right in front of me, but this is very close to what he said, is you can't make a zebra be a dog. You tell me what that means. I'm going to be very critical of Jalen Milroe in this video, and it's not because I don't like Jalen Milroe. I like him as a person. I don't think he's a quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. I think there's some GM somewhere that's willing and ready to kind of rehash the Anthony Richardson experiment, and they're just going to go down the same road with Jalen Milroe. But I want to make that perfectly clear before we get started, because on social media, a lot of times if you're critical of Jalen Milroe, there's a lot of people that come to bat and they make claims based off of skin color, and that's absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, it's dumb. I don't care what color Jalen Milroe's skin is. I care if he can complete an intermediate pass, and he hasn't done that consistently in 2 years as a starting quarterback at Alabama. And I don't see where these guys are convinced that he's going to be a first-round talent. Like I said, that narrative has shifted after the Senior Bowl. It was not a good performance. He had a couple of throws that just weren't even close. Like I said, very reminiscent of what he did in the losses against Oklahoma and Michigan. And I get it. The argument, well, he only had a couple of days. This is with guys he doesn't typically play with. Well, sure, absolutely. But if he's going to play quarterback in the NFL, he should be able to make these easy throws, and he could not. On top of that, Milroe made other statements regarding Alabama's losses this season and how there was a silver lining in the sense that they didn't have any back-to-back losses. This rubbed a lot of Alabama fans the wrong way because we're not used to Alabama losing 4 games in a season. And no matter when they lost them, that's what happened. And it's not necessarily losing 4 games, it's who you lost to. It's who you beat. Alabama beats Georgia. They go to LSU. They beat Missouri. They beat South Carolina, but they lose to Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and they shouldn't have lost to Tennessee. I will stand on that. Alabama played better than Tennessee at Tennessee, but they lost because Jalen Milroe. They lost at against Michigan because of Jalen Milroe. And so these comments have rubbed Alabama fans the wrong way, as comments like that will, because Alabama fans are a testy and feisty bunch, easily upheaved and riled up. And that's exactly what happened today with these comments by Jalen Milroe. Now, look, I am of the school where or whatever, the pajama party. Milroe's going to run a great 40 time. He's going to look great on the bench press. He's going to have amazing tangibles, right? The data sets that he's going to give these scouts are going to be phenomenal. But when you look at the tape, it's hard. It's really hard to defend the comments that he makes, like a zebra can't be a dog. First of all, what the hell does a zebra and a dog have to do with each other? That should tell you enough right there in that comparison. In that situation, I'd imagine it being a sports metaphor, you want to be the dog, not the zebra. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it backwards. I don't know. You can't make a zebra a dog. Crazy. But no matter how you feel about Jalen Milroe, he will get drafted. He will be drafted somewhere. It'll likely, I don't think it's going to be in the first round unless, like I said, in the combine, he shows out and he's able to impress a couple of people. But I think even if he does that, you're looking at sitting for a while, potentially never being a starting quarterback in the NFL. So tell me in the comments, how do you feel about Jalen Milroe's shot at the first round in the draft? I mean, it would look good for Alabama for Milroe to go first round in the draft. That's all people would talk about. Pundits would talk about Alabama's, string of first round quarterbacks. But ultimately, if we're being honest, Jalen Milroe is not a first round QB. And if he wants to be successful in the NFL, he should play a different position, like running back. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. I'm not an NFL GM, not an NFL head coach. I'm just some dude who has a camera and a microphone who likes to talk to you guys. So what I say isn't gospel, but that's just how I feel about it. Again, I love Jalen Milroe as a person. I think given the testy situation that Alabama found itself in when Nick Saban announced his retirement, a guy like Jalen Milroe sticking around, whether he's a good quarterback or not, was invaluable. I think that put Kalen DeBoer in a place to where he really didn't have a choice but to play him. Still don't understand the reasoning behind playing him the full game against Michigan. But again, that's not my decision to make. So tell me in the comments below what you're thinking, how you feeling, and while you do that, be sure that you subscribe, do all the things. Like I said, we've got a lot coming up, a lot of cool, fun stuff for you guys. Looking forward to it. Really am. Tomorrow, like I said, we've got a couple of really good shows. That show will be at 8 o'clock p.m., 9 o'clock Eastern time. So don't miss it. After Dark's coming back next week. And then our memberships are open again. We've got 2 sets of memberships, underclassmen, upperclassmen. This is what they get you. As always, please feel free to donate, subscribe, become a member. We could definitely use the help, right? Who could? So, as always, guys, I'm going to leave you this evening and get ready for bed and then prep for our Thursday night show. But be sure you're there. But as always, you know the drill. Say your prayers. Wash your hands, please. Read your Bibles. Horns down. Beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.